What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Hey man, before we get into anything in this video, make sure that you like and share it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get all updates. Hit the post notification bell. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So Essence Fest was very eventful over the weekend. Me and my lady watched it. It was dope. I enjoyed the majority of the performances. I loved seeing all the ladies represent this year, especially the female rappers. I loved all of the Hip Hop 50 performances from the OGs from the 80s and 90s. I loved seeing Eve, Missy Elliott, Salt and Pepper. I think it was very timely as we do have the resurgence of female rap going on right now. They're literally running the game. So I was very happy to see the women get all of this credit. Unfortunately, there seemed to be some people that were not as enthusiastic about the women's performances over the weekend. One in particular goes by the name of Arie. Now, about a year ago, I was definitely supporting her in her rant about Joe Rogan, talking about how he gets all this money from his podcast, but Spotify doesn't want to pay the musicians, the artists, the writers. I was with her on that. Now she's taking aim at Megan Thee Stallion and Janelle Monae. Now, she does say she loves them. She just does not enjoy the way that they're portraying themselves. So number one, I believe on the second night, it was either the first or second night of Essence, Janelle Monae had her performance where she did an amazing job. She played her new record, new album. She played records off of her old classics. But unfortunately, throughout the duration of her show, she decided to have a moment where she wanted to flash the crowd with her titties. Okay, now she did have some type of nipple pasty on, but she's definitely been going on this whole thing where she has to show her breasts, right? She did the video with her top off. She's been doing nude photo shoots. Everything surrounding the new album was all about body positivity, confidence, being in the nude. She seemingly had a great performance going. We thought that we were going to go a night without actually having to see her breasts at this point in her career. And she pulled one of the weirdest little flash moves in the middle of singing. It just felt like, dog, did you just discover that they were there? Like you acting like you saw them for the first time or something, man. So it did get a little weird. As for Megan Thee Stallion, she did a hot girl boot camp during her performance. I will say it wasn't the most enjoyable part of her performance. I thought when she was up there by herself actually performing her records, she was doing a pretty good job. She was actually holding that down better than I had seen her at previous events. I do believe that this hot girl boot camp thing is a part of her normal show that she does when she's on tour. I've never actually attended a Megan Thee Stallion concert to, say whether or not that's what happens, but I do believe this is what she does at some point during her typical shows. It did give off a little bit tacky and ratchet, you know what I'm saying, especially seeing it on TV, the lack of organization, the lack of formation. It was just kind of like a club dance floor to where Megan disappeared and the focus was on these girls from the crowd. Again, the lack of formation is really what kind of threw it off, because you just see all this ass shaking, but it's not no uniformity to it. She actually did two sections of this. She did one with a smaller group. She went back to performing, and then she brought out a big group of about 12 to 15 young ladies shaking ass like it was Juvenile for the 99 and the 2000. I wasn't really tripping. It did seem like a little bit of an eyesore when I saw it, but let's get into the actual words that Arie shared about her perception of the fest. Arie says, "The issue is what is context. Humanity does everything, but does everything belong in a stage? No. Is everything for kids? No. Is everything for everybody? No. So when we as a culture make something like this mainstream, it shows a lack of discretion and discernment. To those in the comments who laugh at anyone who wants these things for our culture, you certainly have that right. Just as many folks have the right to want our mainstream international export, our music, to show us in a respectful light. I'd like to go on the record saying this won't age well, and that's my issue. I love Janelle and Meg the way I love us all, and I don't like this moment. Don't bother debating me, LOL. I don't care, and I do this. For 25 years, I've done this. So read, ponder, or don't." Now, I'm a little bit torn when I read this commentary from Arie. On one hand, I absolutely agree with her. Do I believe everything belongs in a stage? No, I do think there should be some discretion. I think there should be some sort of, like I said, uniformity, some type of formation. We would never get this from Beyonce, right? She has 100 people on stage and everybody is in sync or doing the motion that their section is supposed to be doing. I think if you're going to have those types of moments within your show, you should craft out a space to choreograph what that's going to look like rather than just turn it into the Saturday night club. That being said, there's a lot of people that enjoy that. I also understand the fact that looking at that Essence Fest crowd on TV, it definitely seemed a little bit underwhelming, right? Maybe people were having a great time. We couldn't really tell from the TV. But when she brought those women on stage, you could actually see the energy on the stage of people in that building. So that was an opportunity to engage and interact with the crowd in a production where we could not really see that happening. Even when they were doing call and response with the crowd, the DJ would drop the music out and you couldn't hear the crowd, so it sounded silent. Of course, to make it palatable for TV without having all of the acoustics bouncing off from everywhere, they had to do some noise gating and stuff like that to mitigate crowd noise. It just seemed a little awkward. I also think that India Arie is a little bit disingenuous in what she's saying. I think she loves Janelle Monae. I don't think she loves Megan Thee Stallion. I think she supports Megan Thee Stallion as a black woman getting to the bag and enjoying her autonomy in the industry. But I don't think there's any possible way that you could love Megan Thee Stallion as an artist if you know what she does. Megan Thee Stallion came out as Tina Snow. The song that put her on the map was a Freak Like Me sample. Her entire discography is composed of ass-shaking, sexual, raunchy music. She gets on stage and twerks. She's been twerking since the beginning. So to say you love Megan Thee Stallion, but then get offended by ass on stage, those two things are not in alignment. In the case of Janelle Monae, I definitely would think somebody like an India Arie would have higher expectations of her at this point in her career because India Arie has likely been watching Janelle Monae from day one. We saw the type of poise that she exhibited in this industry. We saw her in the tuxedo for so long. We saw her always present herself in a specific type of way. She was always putting herself in her education, the way that she spoke, the articulation in her speech, the deliberate nature of how she put her music out, the methodic levels of thought that she was utilizing to captivate people. At this point in her career, she no longer wants to hold up those constructs and she wants to be free. And in that freedom, she wants to show off her body. I think India Arie is looking at her like, girl, why you doing this? Ain't you damn near 40 now? You wait till now to start doing this? Why you could have came out like that from the jump? Then you could have matured into somebody and we would have watched it and loved it. Now we look at you like you're going backwards. But one thing I do want to critique in India Arie's tirade is everything for kids? You do understand that the Essence Fest came on at night. You do understand that Megan Thee Stallion's performance was damn near at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's BET Uncut hours, okay? Now, of course, there's always going to be kids and teenagers that stay up late, you know what I'm saying? Their parents put them to bed, they turn the TV on, close the door, make sure it's locked, and they're going to watch whatever the fuck they want. And in that case, you're not going to be able to prevent them from seeing it anyway. But for the most part, anybody that saw that was probably an adult for the majority. So I can't ride with that. Also, I think if people are mad at Essence Fest, then be mad at the coordination of Essence Fest because artists go in there, they rehearse, they do walkthroughs of their show, they let the festival know what's coming for the most part. If you're going to come on our stage, we need to know what you're going to do. We need to approve certain elements of your show. And if we don't agree with that, then that's something to be addressed. However, Essence is actually the ones that put this content on social media. They said you cannot police Janelle Monae's body during the nip snip. So they actually advocated it. They promoted it. They didn't do what they could to mitigate that actually reaching people. Their social media team used it as a moment to draw people in to continue watching Essence Fest for the duration of the weekend. I did see that there was some aunties and uncles out there that weren't so thrilled about how Essence Fest is changing, getting newer artists, getting these very sexually liberated artists on the lineup. But you got to understand, Essence Fest has always been for the so-called mature crowd. But the so-called mature crowd is now becoming the crowd that's not going to be there much longer. At some point, y'all motherfuckers gonna be in wheelchairs, funeral homes, and care centers where you're not gonna be at Essence Fest no more. So the next generation of aunties and uncles, young grandparents, etc., have to be ushered in at a certain point, which means you have to get the artists and the people that they like and tailor make a new experience. People are not gonna keep paying top dollar to see Charlie Wilson. There's nothing wrong with Charlie Wilson. I love Uncle Charlie. But people are not going to continue to spend their hard-earned money if that's the headliner. There's nothing a festival could possibly do to ensure their bottom line, which is sustained success over a long period of time, without making some changes at certain points. And that also means that the least common denominator, which would be the smallest division of the crowd, right? If 10% of our crowd doesn't like this, and at least 60 to 70% of the crowd either likes it, loves it, or is indifferent, meaning they don't give a fuck, they're just here for a good time, you're gonna go with that big patch of people. So this is gonna end up being, I hate to see you go, but I love to see you leave. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, man. I don't know if India Arie is typically used to being booked at the Essence Fest. I don't know if she was booked to be at the Essence Fest this year. I surely did not see her. Maybe there was a little bit of disdain based on that. She talked about how she does this and has been doing this for 25 years. Miss India, we know that. We totally understand that. However, the new generation as in Generation X, you know what I'm saying? Millennials, Gen Z, all of us, we not bumping your shit. And that's out of love. That's out of respect. That's out of understanding your legacy. I Am Not My Hair, all of the classics. We know who you are. Some of us actually have experienced your music and experienced your greatness and everything, your impact on the industry. But for the general public today, we are not worried about what India Arie has going on. And I think a way to kind of help us want to know what you got going on is not always coming out on some negative shit. Why don't you make a dope ass hit record? Work with a Q-Tip, somebody from your era that's age appropriate but still has a hold on some people from the youth. Do something to bridge the gap between yourself and today's consumer. How about that? Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates, and I will see y'all on the next one, all right? Much love and respect. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace. Beautiful people, thank you for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed the content. Make sure that you're liking and sharing these videos. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the post notification bell so you get all updates. For all of my artists, my artist managers, songwriters, producers, etc. If you need a little bit of extra help with your career, man, make sure that you visit pengameelite.com, okay? That's my website and my community for all upcoming rising music creators. I got 2 books on there, the Pen Game Portfolio Volume 1 and 2. They're going to give you a lot of insights into the music industry, how to monetize your career, how I make my money off of music, because I am a full-time artist outside of doing YouTube videos. If you need some direct help, you can also book a consultation with me on the Pen Game Elite website. And I also have a Pen Game Elite membership. The free tier gives you access to all of these videos that I post on YouTube and a community of people where you can engage. But I do have the membership plus, okay? You can join that for $50 a month or $500 a year, and I will actually go in and do all of the grunt work for you. If you're not registering your songs on your PROs, if you're not with Song Trust or the MLC, if all your collection agencies and all of that stuff are not up to par or up to date, I will go in there and update all of that for you. If you need help uploading your music to a distributor like DistroKid, United Masters, etc., and you've been making mistakes, you've been claiming content ID on material that you really don't own, hey man, stop stealing people's money. If you do this stuff the right way, you're gonna make it anyway, okay? You can join the membership plus, and again, I will do the work for you, and you're gonna get a free consultation every month just for joining. You're also gonna get the 2 books for free soon as you join the membership plus. All right, much love and respect. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.